Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Life's What You Make It here, and I am continuing the series that I had started last Tuesday, where I read other people's fanfics. Now, the last video didn't really get that many views, which made me kinda sad. And well, it made me really sad, basically, because I actually really like doing this series, and it's like a lot of fun. It's enjoyable for me. And I figure, my other series where I'm making Clance Texts is getting a lot of views, and this one doesn't really get as much support. And I hope more people will watch it eventually. But for now, I will keep doing this series because there are people that do like it, and so I'll keep doing this series for them. But anyway, on to chapter 2 of Two Dorks in Love. This chapter is called Sorry Not Sorry. Can't imagine what this one will be about. Ugh, my head is killing me. Lance awoke to a bright white room, with small voices saying jumbled words he couldn't make out. Oh shit, did he go to heaven? Oh, wow. He blinks till his eyes are mostly used to the lighting and started stirring. He heard more jumbled words. He started sitting up and heard someone say, Lance, take it easy. Keith punched your paper jaw. What the hell? Oh my god, he punched your paper jaw. Not even your jaw, your paper jaw. Wow, you just had to insult him. Add insult to injury. You went unconscious. This part, but where does the quote end exactly? Because there's no thing to show. Oh, it ended. So is all of this part of that, or? Okay, I'm not even gonna say nothing about that. Lance then remembered what he and Keith had done. Keith's girly hands punched hard enough to knock me out. Have you seen the animation error where they forgot to put gloves on Keith's hand? His hands are not girly. Even with the gloves on, they're not girly. Season 3 for crying out loud. Keith's girly hand punch. Oh yeah. Now he was just embarrassed and a bit angry. And that makes total sense. Your arch nemesis just punched you out. And he saw Keith sitting on a nearby bed looking down. Lance would have given him a glare when he looked up, but saw that Keith looked guilty and a bit ashamed. Keith immediately looked away. Aww. Lance pondered what Keith was thinking about or why he looked that way, but threw that thought away. He noticed Shiro looking between the two idiots and asked, Lance, what did you do? What didn't Lance do is a better question, Shiro. It didn't even sound like a question. He just sounded ashamed and annoyed. Lance was easily offended by this. Excuse me? Who said I started this? Shiro looked at him as if Lance had just flirted with a girl. That's the face Shiro makes when he's calling bullshit. Lance, Keith told me everything. I knew you would try to lie to me, but I believe Keith is telling the truth. Wow. You're supposed to be the space dad. You're not supposed to take sides. Don't be that dad, Shiro. Don't. And how do you know that? I saw most of what happened. Okay, then. Lance then stared dumbfounded, then blushed because of his embarrassment. He looked at Keith and saw him blushing a bright red, avoiding eye contact. It was kind of cute. No, I don't like him that way. We're rivals. Shiro then snickered and walked away. Hey, where are you going? Remember what Alora said? You two need to get along, so get to it. Wait, she didn't make it 4 days, did she? No, this is your last warning, though. Use it wisely. Then Shiro walked out of the room. Lance and Keith just sat in silence. Keith then spoke up. We Never bring this up to anyone, okay? No more fighting, no more of that bullshit. We could always pretend to get along somehow, so stop being such a drama queen about it. Wow. I like how this is written. It's like poetry written. It looks like it was written like poetry would be. He sounded very serious, a bit nervous for some reason, and very sincere. That convinced Lance to stop, which was unnatural. Really? Yeah, okay. Especially for Lance himself. So they just sat there in awkward silence. Keith then got up and started to walk away. But then, Keith, wait. I'm sorry for what I did. It doesn't sound like me to say this, but I really do mean it. I'm sorry. What is wrong with me today? Lance was surprised at his own actions. So was Keith. He stopped in his tracks and stood there for about a minute. Do you really mean it? He asked in a quiet voice. Lance was confused. Could you say that again? Do you really mean what you said? He asked, a little bit louder with a hint of shyness in his voice. Of course I do. I just don't want to fight with you every second, especially if I have to spend another day with you and go wherever you go. Keith just stood there. Lance just sat there. Okay. Then he walked away. Lance was very confused now, but headed to his dorm anyways. Wait, so that's it? That's basically it? So he's just gonna, like, what, go to sleep or something? He's just done? Alright. Lance didn't get as much sleep. Oh, wow, I was right. Foreshadow. As he tried to think of the reasons why Keith was acting so weird. Yeah, okay, Keith's the one acting weird. Oh well, then the baby slept. So that's just an okay. Keith had similar problems, but wanted to get the night to morning over with. Lead times. What the fuck? Lance woke up, so did Keith. And so did everyone else. Not even gonna comment on that. Lance and Keith knew it was going to be a living hell due them. I feel like this chapter was written differently than the first one was. But did their best. They sat next to each other, ate, then left to do their business. They would go to each other's dorms and be awkward. Keith was reading a book called Fablehaven. That sounds familiar. With some other words that Lance didn't feel like reading. Lance broke the silence. Do you want to go fight with the training bot? Don't you mean you want to go train? It's a weird way of putting it. Keith read for a few seconds, put his book down, and said, well, at least you have a good idea for once. I thought you said you were going to try not to fight with him, Keith. That's going to start a fight. Hey, I'm just trying to not make this so awkward between us since we're going to spend 3 days with each other. Okay. Keith sighed, so they just sat there for a little longer, then got up to go to the training room. As they walked, they noticed that Hunk wasn't in the kitchen area eating all the green glob. Food goo, as, everybody likes to call it. They ignored it and went on. They actually started talking to each other like normal people do. They talked about their family, home, and got a little more personal with each other. Lance mentioned that his mother had a heart attack and is in the hospital, and he doesn't know if she is even alive. Oh my god. I just got up close and personal for no reason. Keith felt a bit bad, but it wasn't as bad as him. Keith didn't want to get personal, especially with his childhood. Of course. But the only way he knew they would get along was if they got personal, which Keith hated. So he told Lance about his parents getting divorced when he was young. His father now drinks and does terrible things. His mother died of skin cancer a few years after his parents divorced. He didn't have any grandparents to take care of him, so he had to stay with his abusive father until his dad said he could move out. Aww. My poor little red baby. Keith also said he had never told anyone about his past and would like to keep it between the both of them. Getting a bit emotional and caught up in storytelling, they both realized they like having the company. Telling the other about their feelings instead of hiding them, they smiled at each other and blushed afterwards. Neither of them had ever felt much relief talking about Earth problems until now. Lance was overly happy that Keith had said anything at all. Then they both put a bet on who would beat the most levels in under 3 minutes. Keith won, of course, having the sword and having more experience. The two dorks teased and playfully shoved each other. All the while, all the paladins were in the dark watching from afar. What kind of creepy fuckery is that? What are they, stalking them now? As the two of them have fun fighting. Of course, Allura knew it would work. She just didn't expect it to happen this fast. This was really enjoyable, even with you. Wow, Lance, you still putting up that barrier of yours? I guess Keith really activated your particle barrier. Oh god, I'm such a dork. Lance smirked. Keith blushed a light shade of red and looked away. Lance just stared and enjoyed the view Keith was giving him. So, you gonna say sorry for punching me in the face and knocking me out? Keith smiled and said, sorry, even though I don't mean it. Wow! Okay, Keith, you're super petty for that. But okay. He muttered the last part. Excuse me? Boy, you better mean it. Fine, sorry, I'm not sorry. That's why this chapter's called Sorry, Not Sorry. Makes a lot more sense now. Keith smirked and ran off to his room. Lance just stood there and watched him go. I'll accept the fact that he's cute. Then he walked off to his own room with the other paladins in the distance dying slowly. Why the hell are they watching them? Well, okay, that is chapter 2 of Two Dorks in Love. This chapter was actually a lot harder for me to do because I really wasn't in the mood to do this today. But it wasn't that bad. I hope this one will get more views than the last one. And I hope to see you guys next time with my next Clance texting video. And my next time doing a video like this on Tuesday. This has been Life's What You Make It. See you guys.